Hi guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be using this Ankara to make a cycle overlap dress. If this sounds like something you're interested in, kindly stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button and notification button. So the formula for cutting our half cycle is 3.14. And you're going to divide your waist by 3.14, whatever your waist measurement is, your waist circumference is. Now our waist circumference is 38 divided by 3.14 gives us 12.1. We're going to ignore the 1 because it's basically 12. Now what you do is you add that 12.1 or whatever it is you got by dividing your waist, you add it with your length, the actual length of your skirt, of your flare skirt. Now our length is 30 plus 12 is going to give us 42. That's what I'll be using to cut out the cycle of this dress. As you can see right here, I'm about to fold the fabric, but first off, I'm going to measure my 42 and make sure I have it. Okay, and most times it's advisable to even give extra. So if you have 42, you can do 45. That 3 inches won't kill you, it might even save you. You might find out that you want it a bit longer, you might need 1 inch or 2 inches for folding, whatever. Just make sure that you don't cut exactly. Cutting exactly doesn't mean that you've spoiled your style or you're not going to achieve your style. You are, but giving it some extra allowance would give you space for whatever it is, be it design, be it amendment, be it whatever. So I'm going to be folding it by 45. That's basically the length of Ankara. So that I'll be folding it by 45 since I have 42. Now I'll fold it into 2 as you can see. Then I'll make a triangle. Let's just cut it off so it won't confuse us. I'm going to cut this off so we can have a clear view of what we're doing. Now as you can see, this is what we have. I'm going to make sure I balance it out to a perfect triangle. Just measuring it out to confirm. I have 45 right here. And I'm going to measure the other side to also show you. I have 45 both ways. So right here, I'll be cutting out my 45 completely. I'm just going to take it from the start and measure my 45 and I'll take it round. I'm doing this because of the style. You can cut 42 totally, it works. You're going to get your length and your circumference accurately. But I'm doing 45 because I want some extra space and allowance, okay? So I'm just going to measure 45 all round and I'm going to cut it off. Next, I'm going to mark my 12 inches, which we got by dividing our waist by 3.14, remember? So I'm going to be marking my 12 inches circumference round about. Now, the advice I could give you here from experience is when cutting your circumference, if you have 12 and you don't want it to be too free, you can do maybe 11.5. Doing 12, mind you, won't spoil your design to give you accurately, but it might just be a little loose. So you can do 11.5. So what I'm basically doing here is 12, and I also went down by 2 inches extra. This is because I wanted it to be too big. I wanted the waist to be extra. That was why I added my length to 45 instead of 42. I wanted an extra waist. Okay, that's the only explanation. And now I'm done with my cycle. That's basically what you need for your cycle, your waist and your length. Now I'm just going to put this on to show you what I'm talking about. As you can see, my waist is way bigger than it should be. This is because I want an overlap. This waist is bigger than 30. I measured it, it was about 59 thereabouts. As you can see, it's now crossing, it's now tying over. That's the style I'm making. That's why I went down by extra 2 inches after I marked out my 12. So now the secret is, the more you go down, the more bigger your waist is. The more you go up, the more smaller your waist is. Okay? So right here, I'll be using this piece of fabric to make the upper parts, the overlap. So basically what I did was I just got my chest measurement, that's my bust measurement. I added about 3 inches, and my half length, I added about 2 inches. These are totally unnecessary. But what I do is I always need that allowance. I don't want to be cutting and hear story that the material didn't reach. I can't waste somebody's fabric. So what I basically did was I added allowance extra, 3 inches up, 3 inches down. That should be sufficient for you. So what I usually do is I always start with ruling out 1 inches. This is very important, mostly if you're cutting on a fabric. You need that allowance. It's just necessary. Now I'm going to start from the point I just ruled out now. I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half inches. That gave me a total of about 8.5. I'm going down by 9.5, because whatever I got on my shoulder, I usually add just 1 inches. That's my chest line. Now on this my chest line, I'll be taking my bust measurement plus 1 inches plus 1.5. Whatever seam allowance you want to add is totally fine. What I did was I added 1.5. I'll slope my shoulder by 1 inches, take my neck width 3 inches, and I'll connect it. I'll also draw out my neck depth of 1.5 inches. This is the back. That's why I went down by 1.5. Now I'm adding my allowance for joining the neck. I'll divide my armhole into 2, and I'll just curve it out. So I'm taking the actual length of my top plus my half inches seam allowance, and I'm going to connect it and roll it out. Now I'm taking my waist measurements plus my 1.5 inches seam allowance, and I'm going to roll it out. That's basically it. I'll cut it out. So now that we have this piece, this is what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead to cut 3 of these. Now I've gone ahead to cut it off camera. I have 3 pieces of this, as you can see. I'm going to take 1 for my back and 2 is going to be for my front. So they are both the same, so I'll just randomly pick one. So for my center front, I'm going to go down by my desired length. And what I did was I went down by 5 inches. The more you go down, the more it gapes at the front. So I don't want that gaping. I just went down by 5 inches. And on my side right here, I went up by about 2.5, 3 inches. Whatever works for you. Now, I'm going to connect these lines, my neck to the point that is 5 inches deep, and this point. I'm going to place these 2 together and cut it at once. Now you want to place the right sides facing the right side. I'm done cutting, and this is what it looks like. They're basically the same piece, but you have your left, you have your right. I'm just measuring out my armhole for my sleeves. I'll just go over to my sewing machine to sew this. So this is me cutting out my sleeve with a piece of scrap fabric that I found around. The sleeve is basically about 10 inches, so I don't need much and it works for me. So I've gone ahead to join my shoulders, and this is what it looks like. I've joined both shoulders and this is what we have. The next thing I'll be doing is to attach my sleeve, and I'll be putting it this way, just exactly as you see me. Find the midpoint and attach my sleeves. So this is what it looks like. The sleeves are sewed, the shoulders are sewed on, and this is what it's looking like. Now I'll just go right ahead to finish the hem of the sleeve and join it straight down. I will also bias my neckline. Now I'll be joining this upper bodice to our flare, starting from the midpoint of our top to the midpoint of our cycle. Now this is what it looks like. So there's going to be a rope at the end of every overlap that you're going to insert inside and tie it on. I'm yet to put the rope on when I made this video. So there is supposed to be a rope that you can use in tying it front and back. One of the rope goes inwards and one comes outward. As of the time I was making this video, I haven't put on the rope. If you've watched up to this part of this video, I want to say a big thank you to you, and thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. You're the reason I do what I do. And don't forget to hit the subscription button if you haven't. What are you waiting for? Hit the like button, drop in your comments, and bye.